the industry is who's going to be coming back, who's going to be the guest, who's going to be the customer that's going to come and populate the restaurant and be a part of it. And then if it's going to be the local community, what are we going to do to exactly the social intimacy becomes social distancing, right? So there's some challenges that we're all inherently going to have right now from restaurant operations. You know, today would be the right day to have a drive-through business. A drive-through Chick-fil-A would be the best day to have right now. But the truth is, we're as a whole and as a beach. You know, I'm celebrating 19 years on Miami Beach right now, and the idea that the thing that drives us, the beach, the bars, the nightclubs, the restaurants, the hospitality, the hotels, all of that has been put to a stop is mind-bending, right? So for me, the cool thing is, I guess that everybody now has become a chef at home, right? So everybody's is a stay-at-home chef. Everybody likes to cook. I like to cook, and I like to show a couple of secrets along the way. So while we chit-chat and paddywhack and give this dog a bone, I'm going to give this dog a fish taco and a mango margarita as we do it. Anybody with me? I see hands up. I see hands up. What about you? Where's Mark Halpern? I don't see him. Where is he? All right, so I step back over here to my kitchen world, and as the sun is now entering the backyard, it's displaying on the ingredients. I went to Publix this morning. Cece went to Publix this morning. Anybody else go to Publix this morning? I see a Publix bag. Anybody else go there? Nobody? Is this a dialogue, or is it a monologue or a dialogue?
We're on mute.
Dialogue.
We're on mute because otherwise, yeah, we're not.
Yeah,
So the
tacos.
around with who talks. So the best thing is that you just do your thing, and then we can ask questions afterwards.
All right. Well, then get right to it. All right. So the first thing first, let's talk about the fish. The fish that I suggested everybody get was mahi-mahi because I get it out of the water all the time. But I got lucky, and Paul Castronova, my buddy from the radio, happened to catch tuna and swordfish yesterday. So I am now sitting on good amount of tuna and swordfish. So I'm going to be making a blackened tuna taco. You can use mahi, you can use swordfish, you can use shrimp, you can use chicken if you really wanted to at this point. It's really all about the steps in the garden. All right, so I've got my tuna right here that I've cut. Hold on. Let me get the good thing is the restaurant people, we all know how to use gloves. So that actually should be a pretty easy path. You use them, you take them off, you use another pair. I go through thousands of gloves every day because I like it. All right, so I took the tuna and I cut it into about 1.5 inch wide, and I like to tell you that 6 inches is probably only about 2.5 inches long. And these are called goujons, or like little fingers, right? And then I've got my secret rub over here that you can use, as I said in the recipes. The Pulperdome seasoning spice for the redfish is the bomb. It's the one to go to. You can do your smoked paprika, oregano, granulated garlic, dried cilantro, dried parsley, dry oregano, salt, a little bit of sugar, mix them all together, some adobo, some of that sazon seasoning, all that jive all works. What you really want to have right now, there's no right or wrong. You just want to punch some flavor into the fish. So I'm punching some flavor into the fish. I got some olive oil in my pan. I'm rolling them around in the olive oil, and then I'm going to dust them with my blackening seasoning. I'm going to bring it over there. Give me a thumbs up if you can see what I'm saying. Thumbs up, anybody? I see one from Bentley.
Do you mind moving some of the bottles that are in there so we can kind of see what you're doing?
Oh, absolutely.
Please. Thank you.
One of them was my can of beer. I've got the seasoning on the fish right there. How's that for you? That worked out good?
Yeah, much better. Thank you.
All right, cool. So again, the fish is about 2.5, 3 inches, maybe that's 3 inches tall, about 1.5 inches thick. And I've got my grill, and I've got the cast iron flat top on the grill right now. So all you need is a non-stick pan in your house, and you're in business. A little spit of olive oil, and you're ready to go. So you just run the fish around in the seasoning, just so it coats it. And you can coat this fish up in the morning, and then you go about your business, and then do it later on in the afternoon. You can even do it overnight. The fish will just get all the flavors, like a marinade. Take it onto your hot surface, and that's it. You just take it off, take it from the marinade right onto the cooking apparatus. Today I've got the cast iron, like I said. You got a cast iron pan in your house, non-stick pan. You can broil the fish, and of course the classic Baja fish taco is fried. But I don't think anybody wants to set up a fryer in their house right now, so we're cooking it like this. Now, what's next? While the fish is doing its work, we're going to take control and start making the garnish, the salsa. Mangoes. So I went to the store this morning. Cece got some already cut up mango. I got some mango. I sliced it up already into these maneuverable slices, and then diced it into beautiful diced mango. Right here, so you can see. Diced mango, everybody got that? To that, with the tropical fruit salsa, I've got some pineapple. If you had some lychee nuts, you could add into this as well. But what we want to do is we want to combat the spice from the blackening with a little bit of sweet, a little bit of balance, right? So now I've got a couple of spoonfuls of good old-fashioned diced fresh pineapple, green onion, scallion, enters my party. Then I got a pepper parade that I'm going to go with right now. I already diced up orange pepper, red pepper, and jalapeno pepper. If you don't like it spicy, keep the jalapeno out. The red and the orange are sweet peppers, and they're nice. You're going to give a little bit of crunch and some texture against the fish. So I put a little bit of the orange pepper, the red pepper, and the jalapeno pepper. All enter. Chopped fresh cilantro, one of my dearest friends. Chopped fresh cilantro makes its way in. It's going to give you that herbaceousness, a little bit of lift. And really, if we're talking about tacos, you don't have cilantro in your house, we're having the wrong conversation.
I have a question. Do you chop up and use the stems, or do you throw away the stems?
All right, so great question. So with cilantro is one of those funny herbs, right? The stem is really, really, really fine and thin. So if you were going to chop cilantro, if you took your knife to it, if you gave it a really good chop, you could use the stem and you'd be okay. Or the French word for taking the leaf off the stem is called plouche. This is a plouche of cilantro. You take your plouche of cilantro, quite frankly, if you just take the cilantro leaves, you don't even need to chop them. You just pick them off, the leaf, right off the stem rather, toss it into your bowl, and that's all you need to do. You don't even need the knife. My fish is ready to turn, stand by. If your fish is in a pan right now, you might want to take a look at it. 1, 2, 3. All right, my fish is getting perfect. Now it needs a little dressing, a little bit of activity to get all the flavors going on. Good old-fashioned olive oil does a lot. My father told me olive oil goes a long way. Right now, a little bit of olive oil into my salsa. It's going to get a little bit of good fat. It's going to have a little bit of succulence when it hits your mouth and your lips. I'm going to spin it around. And then anytime you add a little bit of oil, you need a little bit of acid as well. And lime juice is my acid of choice, especially when I'm doing a dish like this. So a little fresh lime juice, squeeze one lime right inside the bowl. Toss it all together. We'll do one more little squeeze of lime. So again, to recap, what's happening right here? What do I got? I got some fruit, pineapple, and mango. You don't like mango, you're allergic to it, pineapple, do something else. You could use peaches, you could use plums, you could use cherry, anything you want. Mix it up with some green onions, some fresh cilantro. You've got the flavors of Mexico right now. Add some peppers, the red pepper, the orange pepper, the green pepper, the jalapeno pepper. Give them all a ride around, add the lime, and then a little bit of salt. I'm using a little pink Himalayan sea salt. You could use good old-fashioned kosher salt, any kind of salt you like. I don't use iodized salt. I don't like the iodine being added to my salt to be put in my body. So I stay away from that. So kosher salt, sea salt, these are the salts you should be using. I'm removing my fish from the grill right now. I'm talking to it. And now, let me mix this all up. Let me bring it over here. Mango salsa with peppers and tomatoes. And if you don't want to do fruit, you want to do cucumbers and tomatoes to make a pico de gallo, also fine and cool. Now, the crema, the sauce that's going to be in our party. Crema is a pretty simple experience. There's two ingredients that go into all cremas. One is mayonnaise and one is a little bit of sour cream. I've taken avocado. I take the avocado out of the shell and just mash it up with my spoon, whisking it around with just a squeeze of lemon juice. That keeps the avocado nice and green, adds a little bit of acid. And remember, avocado is all fat, right? It's great, good fat for you. It's good for your skin, it's good for your hair, it's good for your eyes. So a little bit of lime balances the fat and the acid, so it's all good.
Yep.
Then I add.
Quick question: is there a particular avocado you prefer over another?
Well, I use the Hass avocado, right? It's the it's creamy and it's easy. The Florida avocados are also super good. They're a little bit more waxy. And you want to get them so they're super ripe. But you can use either avocado, the Caribbean Florida avocado or the Hass California avocado. Both of them work great. The Hass avocado is more prominent in Mexican cooking because that's where it comes from. But we're here, and if you got an avocado tree in your backyard, and a mango tree in your backyard, and a lime and lemon tree in your backyard, you don't got to go to Publix. A little bit of mayonnaise and sour cream. When I say a little bit, let me walk that back. I don't like saying a little bit. I use about a big tablespoon of mayonnaise, a big tablespoon of sour cream, and 2 big tablespoons of avocado. And when you whisk that together, it becomes this beautiful, pale green, fantastic, creamy, loving sauce. That's nice. See that?
No lime in this?
Yeah, but I squeeze a little bit of lime in there too, right? But I squeezed the lime already with the avocado when I mashed it. So I'm going to squeeze a little bit more lime. And you can never go wrong with a little lime in this dish. You know, lime is a bright. It makes everything bright, right? Acid. So here's a cooking tip. People ask all the time, oh, this needs something, right? There's always needs, it's missing something. It's either salt, fat, or acid. Those are the 3 things that it always needs, right? So a little knob of butter, a squeeze of lemon, and a pinch of salt go a long way. And we're back over here. So now, you've got your avocado crema all ready to go. We've got the tropical salsa ready to go. Let me clear it down a little bit here. You don't need to see all my actions. And then I've got a plate ready to go. So tortillas. I said this in the recipe and I'll say it now in real life. The corn tortilla is my favorite tortilla. But if you like flour tortillas, go for it. I like to char my tortillas a little bit. Wherever there's color, there's going to be flavor, right? So I've got corn on the grill right now. Like the corn, I've charred the corn on the grill because that corn, the sugar, the science behind it is when the charring happens, it's actually caramelization of the sugar, and that's where that bursts the flavor comes, right? So that's what we're looking for. You know, Miami is a city of color, right? So there's flavor everywhere. That's why you want to char your tortilla up a little bit. Turn it over. When I mean char, you want to get a little bit of that brown, right? You see that little brown that's on there that's happening right now? That's what you really want to have on your pie. That's what you want to have on your tortilla. That's nice. I tell you, I had this biblical experience once. I was in Jalisco, Mexico. Jalisco, Mexico is where they make tequila. It's where it comes from. And I was there exploring, trying to get to know everything I need to know about tequila. And I was walking down the street, and as I came down this block, on my left-hand side, there was a tortilla factory. So there was a couple of mamacitas, present tortillas, and they were coming down a conveyor belt. They just had this, and they were cooking them over a comal, with live fire and just a hint of smoke going on everywhere. As I was walking, a woman was coming at me with a basket on her head, and it had all queso fresco, like Parma cheese that they had just made. And another guy was next to me with a mango stand. And at that moment, I had like an epiphany of the most fantastic mango, Parma cheese, queso fresco, charred tortilla with a squeeze of lime on top of it they could ever have, right? So the taco is the perfect food group because you can put anything inside of it, roll it up, and pop it in your mouth. Everybody drinking yet?
Hey, quick question on the corn. You put anything before you put it on the grill or no?
Negative. I just do it dry. Dry
Okay.
way. You know, there could be, depending if you make your own or if you buy them in the store, and we get into a make your own tortilla story. There's a little bit of manteca, a little bit of fat that lives inside that tortilla, right? So that tortilla has a little bit of it. So as it heats up, that's what's going there. The roasting of it. This one is actually perfect. That tortilla right there is a perfect tortilla. It's warm. It's got some char to it. It has some flavor to it. It's still pliable. It's all good.
And the corn, you don't put anything? You don't put anything on the corn either?
Same thing with the corn. I just go right to the grill.
Okay.
And I'm looking for char to come out of it. Now. All right. So, when I build the taco, can you see my building station? Can you see that right there? Yes? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, first thing I do, first thing I like to do is put the crema down first, right? You can put the crema on the top, you can put the crema on the bottom. I like the crema on the bottom so you give that tortilla now a little bit of fat that runs around in it, so it's creamy and good. So the avocado is delicious. I drop down a little bit of the avocado crema, half a tablespoon. Give it a little run around with my spoon so it gets all the places. What you don't want to do is only have the crema in the middle of the tortilla and not everywhere, because then you're not getting all the taste at the same time, right? You're only getting the guacamole love when you make your way halfway through the top. This way, you spread it all around. Every bite gets every bit that you got coming to you. I want everything I got coming to me, especially avocado. Now, my tuna, I don't slice it. I don't do anything to it. I leave it whole. It's a perfect piece. Just like that. This one I already took a bite of it. And then I've got my fruit salsa right here. The mango and the cucumber and the peppers rather all getting together. Now, one thing I didn't mention, you can make this a day in advance. After a day in advance, the peppers start to break down a little bit, and then they'll actually ferment with the acid. So what you want to do is, this is perfect, but it's a fresh, ready to go condiment. Let it sit overnight. It's great. But 2 or 3 days on it, especially if you have pineapple in it, those acids will get to the reacting a little bit, and you'll have a little bit of fermentation process. So just toss it up fresh, squeeze the cilantro, throw the cilantro, squeeze the lime, it'll be better off. And then you just go on top with the salsa. When you dice your fruit or your vegetable, always make sure you make them kind of small dice. If they're too big, you're going to be struggling to try and get the flavor in your mouth while you got mango falling out. And that's that. And then I take a little bit more of the fresh cilantro on top. Add it over here. A pinch of my blackening seasoning at the end, just to wake everything up a little bit. That, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a pretty good lunch today.
Is that a secret seasoning you got there? The blackening?
Yeah, this is the same seasoning that I put on the fish, right? The blackened seasoning. As I said, the Paul Prud'homme on the shelf in Publix aisle 9 or 10 is perfect. It's got the right balance of oregano and garlic and cilantro and cumin and chilies and paprika. You want to make your own. Same story, it's in the recipe that we sent out online. Blend them all together. You can add adobo to it, Sazon seasoning. What you want to have is something that's got the pop in it, right? A little bit of sweet, and spicy at the same time.
And what's the name of that seasoning you just said? The first one?
It was a Rest de Soul, the famous chef. Before there was Emerald, there was Paul Prudhomme. And Paul Prudhomme was a gregarious guy out of New Orleans who first was the guy who could figure out how to do blackening or bronzing, as they call it. And it's just a great, perfect mix. And sometimes you have to give way to the masters. You know what I mean? That's what they do it. Show well.
So Paul Prudhomme seasoning at Publix.
Yep. And they've got a couple. They've got one. They've got a chicken one, and they've got a redfish one. And the one that I'm using is the redfish. But they all play.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, because there's a lot of seasonings on that aisle, so it's tough to pick one.
Say it again.
I said there's a lot of seasonings in that aisle, so sometimes it's tough to choose or know what to choose.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. The Paul Prudhomme one is my go-to. It's great. It's a slender glass bottle. I think I have some on the inside. I'll show you what the bottle looks like so you can have some identification to it. The guy's named Paul Prudhomme. He looks like Ernest Hemingway with a hat on, right? He's got a beard on the bottle. He's got a beard, mustache, and a white hat. I'll grab you a bottle so you can see what it looks like.
Cool, thank you.
Don't worry. Then, so this is what it looks like right over here. Can you take a look at that?
Wow.
That look good?
That's beautiful.
Now this is dragon fruit, and this dragon fruit is grown down in Homestead.
Oh no, we lost him.
We lost your video, Ralph, if you can hear us.
Yeah, it's right. Going, and I had to find. It was very popular. All right, so the dragon fruit comes down from Homestead. These tomatoes came from a farm on Clintmore and 441 in Boca Raton, as well as the green onion. The tuna came out of the ocean. The mango came from down south as well. This is a completely local dish. What I really think, I mean, this is now a conversation point. I think that, you know, we were all being so conditioned into having truffles thrown in from Italy and bronzino coming in from the Mediterranean and salmon from Nova Scotia. But the fact of the matter is, at this point, with no planes in the air and trucks fairly limited to driving around paper goods, the things, the batteries, the things that we need to survive, that nothing, I guess the good part from a food standpoint is that local will really be local at this point. We happen to benefit the benefit of having farm and water surrounding us. This is not a bad place to be quarantined.
Not at all.
Anybody thirsty?
Right here.
What time does the drive-through open up, pick up some of that food?
The drive-thru will be open May 1st. First through 5th. The Cinco de Mayo celebration is on. You know, I've been celebrating Cinco de Mayo. I opened up my first restaurant in New York City in 1994, so 25 plus years ago. And I've been having a Cinco de Mayo party ever since. And they weren't Mexican restaurants. They were fine dining joint, an Italian joint, pizza. But Cinco de Mayo, I feel, is like a day that it's a day that we all get to share. And I don't know if anybody on this Zoom meeting right now is even Mexican, right? But the fact is, if you add margaritas and you add some fun music and you add some tacos and some guacamole, you can forget everything for a day. So let's talk about margaritas.
Oh, nice.
That's a good setup, right? Look at that.
Like,
Oh
great.
yeah.
So here's I brought a few of my favorite friends. Number one, I'm very thankful for everything that we have going on. I'm fortunate to be talking to you, all you people right now, my friends. We're all in this together, so I'm pretty happy that we're all here still fighting it out. This is some Himalayan pink sea salt. I'm going to sprinkle that into my plate because I'm going to use that to rim my glass. If you don't have Himalayan pink sea salt, you can use regular sea salt. You can use kosher salt, but these are all fine. Hold on a second, I need some ice.
Avocado mayonnaise.
Can someone record this part?
You should record the whole thing.
I'm on it right now.
Recording.
I think this is recording so that people can see it later. That's one of the benefits of doing this Zoom conference. I think, Alicia,
I
you're
thought so
recording.
too, but I just tried hitting record and it says you have to ask for permission.
I think that Alicia, as the host, gets to record.
I am
Got it.
recording. It's been recording.
Ironic, I just went in my cooler and I found that.
Okay, so I did Hispanic affairs for the governor of Illinois for years, and I will say something about Cinco de Mayo. They don't celebrate in Mexico the way that we celebrated here. It is, it's the Batalla de Puebla. They remember a time when they were going to lose to the French. The French has never won anything, and they didn't win it this time either. So at la Batalla de Puebla, the farmers, the peasants grabbed their farming equipment and they joined the militia to beat back the French. And that's why they celebrate, because the everyday peasant joined in the fight for their own liberty. And it wasn't until months later that they actually had the independence of Mexico. But Cinco de Mayo is revered as a wonderful community, people of the earth taking up arms and fighting for their own independence. So it's a wonderful celebration of the community, but that's what it's really all about. So we celebrate those farmers, right, that picked up their picks and shovels and they went to war to fight for their own land and for their own freedom. So La Batalla de Puebla, Cinco de Mayo.
100%. And the truth is, this year, since it looks like we're not going to be able to have the full-blown Cinco de Mayo party that we'd like to, the good news is that, as you mentioned, September 17th is the Mexican Independence Day. So maybe we'll get lucky and there'll be no hurricane. We'll be able to throw a party in September. Right here, I've got a glass going. I just filled it all the way with ice. The first ingredient in every good margarita, tequila. I'm going to rain in 3 ounces of tequila. I'm making enough for 2 drinks right now. To that, I'm going to add our very own J.F. Hayden's mango liqueur, made from Florida mangoes by our good friend Fuzzy Scalar. It's right here. It's a perfect, I call it a secondary ingredient, right? It's great. Like, you make a margarita, use a typical classic margarita is tequila, triple sec, lime juice, away we go. The triple sec is an orange flavored liqueur. If you're getting fancy, people use Grand Marnier. This mango is absolutely perfect. It's exactly who we are. It's indigenous to the spot. That's it. This fresh lime juice that I've already squeezed, I got a big squeezer over there beside these. I'm going to add it to it. In this bottle, this is some of my little science. This is agave with chili peppers marinated in it, steeped in it. Red chili peppers, dry. Agave syrup, also available at Buffalo. Instacart and all your favorite groceries. You don't have to do anything to it other than take the agave at room temperature and take the dried chili peppers and just pop them into the syrup. I'm moving into a quart container, put a cover on it. A quart container like this. Put a cover on it. Put it in a dry, cool spot. You don't need to put it in your refrigerator. You can just put it in your pantry, close the door, and let it steep. Load it and leave it. Just let it there and get ready. After about 6 or 7 days, the chili flavor will have imparted itself into the agave. You just pick the chili out, and then you're good to go, and you can pour it in. So I'm going to add in my agave syrup to this. About 1.5 ounces. And then one more miracle ingredient that I like to use, coconut water. And the coconut water, I'm going to add some into the drink right now, and then I'm going to put a little roof on it. And the coconut water, I use one that's got a little bit of coconut pieces into it, got a little bit of pulp. It's hydrating, it tastes great, and it's sweet. So now you've got the sweet from the agave, but it's spicy. Balancing out the acid from the lime juice. You've got the tequila and the mango liqueur. Who knew this was going to be such a science experiment? Put your lid on top. Take what your mama gave you. little salt on my glass, so I'm gonna rim it around. I've got my Himalayan pink sea salt on my plate. One time, put the line back where it belongs. Two, that's how we do it, by the way. If you want to salt your rim, you just take your line, squeeze it around the edge, slice the line, put a little wedge, a little nick in it so you can rub it around your glass. Beautiful, away we go. Then I'm going to add ice to my glass. At Naked Taco, our number one margarita is the Some Like It Hot margarita, which we make with passion fruit and a jalapeno simple syrup. This is a rip on that, and it's slowly becoming my new favorite. Pour some in. One time. Two times. Margarita one. Margarita two. Here's the one. A little bit of coconut water on the top. This coconut water is actually a Thailand coconut water, and it's got chunks of coconut in it, which I really like. They're a little chunky, get a little bite on it, a little something to the tooth, al dente, as they say in Italian. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is lunch at the Pagano house. I hope you're enjoying it.
Amazing. Love it.
Awesome job, Chef. Thank you.
Well, my pleasure.
Thank you, everybody, for coming to our Tourism and Hospitality Council meeting. This is our monthly meeting. We hope that you're doing well, you're staying home, you're making the most of it, thinking about all of our restaurateurs and all of our hospitality workers that are out of work right now. It is something that we are challenged with. We are trying to give back as much as possible. I know there's a lot of, I want to tell you, there's a lot of food distributions that are going on. Commissioner David Richardson is really spearheading it. And, you know, we are part of hospitality. That is the backbone of everything that we do. And it is the biggest part of our industry that has been completely crushed by this. But make the most of your life. Do the best that you can. If you're cooking at home, you just experienced Ralph Pagano and Naked Taco. Thank you so much. Listen, the chamber is taking the lead on this. We're working really hard to get everybody open and back into business. In the meantime, have a nice taco. We're going to have some more chef demonstrations. We're going to do a fundraiser with the Celebrity Chef Cookbook that Ralph is so kind to be our very first chef that has volunteered to be part of our Celebrity Cookbook. That is a not-for-profit fundraiser for families in need. You'll be hearing more about that. But with that, air kisses, everyone.
Thank you, Cece.
Love
Thank you, Ralph.
Be good, everybody. Get naked.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Will do.
Thank you.
I'm coming for a taco
Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
and a margarita.
Thank you, Cece.
Alicia. Yeah, we can stay on. We can keep talking. I think Alicia is doing something else.
No, I said thank you, and I was about to end the meeting, but if you guys want to stay on, I could.
No, you can end the meeting. You can.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
If anybody wants to gamble, call me.